What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we finally got the multiplayer reveal trailer for Black Ops 6. And with this, while it doesn't quite hit the same since a leaked build of the game has already been out there, we've already seen gameplay posted from these leaks as well as a bunch of information. But in saying that, there were actually a good handful of things that were revealed in this trailer that weren't in that leaked build of the game and that haven't been officially confirmed until now. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into this trailer, basically going frame by frame to point out every little detail that I can that hasn't already been officially shown off and revealed in the past. So in the starting clip here, this takes place on the map called Pit, which appears to be a small strike map. Then on this character model, I wanted to point out, he does have a 1911 there. However, we still haven't seen any actual gameplay of the 1911. We've seen it on the wall at one point, and now we've seen it on a character model. There's still no absolute confirmation that this is going to be a usable gun in the game though. Then with this clip here, none of the guns are new, but the main thing I wanted to point out here is this doesn't appear to be taking place on a multiplayer map, and instead it actually appears to be like the background lobby screen that we've seen in some recent Call of Duty games where you just have your character model like endlessly walking. I believe that's where they're getting this little bit of footage from, so perhaps that background lobby screen will be returning. Then we see a quick execution here. And then, moving on to the map Rewind, if you pay close attention in the background here, we can clearly see a napalm strike hitting the ground. And the napalm strike isn't really surprising to see in a Black Ops game, but it isn't something that we've seen so far. It wasn't in the leak build of the game, it wasn't shown off in the reveal at all, if I remember correctly, so napalm is coming to the game. Then we see the player pull out this device here, and it mentions enemy comms tapped. So this could be a score streak, it could be a field upgrade perhaps. Not 100% sure what this is at this point, but I suspect it's one of those two things. Then after that, another streak we haven't seen until this trailer is the Cerberus, or perhaps Wheelson. I think they're going to call it the Cerberus since it is in a Black Ops game. It's basically just that little remote-controlled tank. And then right after that, we see this player with a launcher. However, I don't think this is a regular launcher in the game. I believe this is the Valkyrie because of this clip that immediately follows it. It looks like it is a guided rocket, and that would follow suit with the Valkyrie from Black Ops 1. And that would make this a score streak rather than a launcher that you just put on your class. Then after that, we do see a Tomahawk, but we have seen those in the reveal. And now we get into some clips on the map Skyline. And honestly, there was nothing really surprising or new about these clips. You can't see a chopper gunner in the background, but we've already seen the chopper gunner. And then we get onto the map Scud here. And this is where we see a few interesting things. The first thing is we get another look at the meat shield mechanic where you can sneak up behind an enemy player and grab them and use them as a meat shield. And in these clips, we're also seeing some of the Mastercraft weapons that you get with the Vault edition of the game. So in the hands of the person that is using the meat shield, this is the Ames 85 Mastercraft. We can also see his teammate with the sniper rifle. That's the LR762 Mastercraft. But interestingly, with that Ames 85 Mastercraft, it looks like it's going to have a grenade launcher, but not just any grenade launcher, it's going to be a tear gas launcher. And surprisingly, it also appears to be semi-automatic, which is interesting for an underbarrel launcher. Now, the next thing we see here is quite interesting. That sniper on his team with that LR762 Mastercraft, it shows them aiming at the chopper gunner, and then it cuts to a clip of the chopper gunner going down. Now, I don't know if this was just done for cinematic purposes for the trailer, or if you're actually going to be able to snipe the pilot of the chopper gunner. I would be a little bit concerned if it's that easy to take out a chopper gunner by just getting one shot off at the pilot. In either case, in the next clip here, this is on the map that's codenamed Canals. It will likely have a different name at launch, but in the code, it's labeled as Canals based on data mines. And in this clip, the interesting thing I wanted to point out is you can see a plane crashing in the background, and it does appear this could be crashing on the play space itself. So I wonder if we're going to see that mechanic return where if a streak gets shot down, like a VTOL for instance, in Modern Warfare 2, if it lands on the map, will it be able to kill other players, or is it just purely cinematic? But next we see a new baseball bat execution, pretty cool. And then right here, something interesting is we see a player leaping out of the water with akimbo USPs. And the clip does start at this point right here, so it's kind of hard to tell if he's coming from underwater and actually able to somehow dive out of the water from underneath, or if this is just reasonably shallow water and he was actually standing in the water and then just activating a dive. I suspect the latter is more likely the case, because I do think that would be a little silly if you could literally dive like this from underneath the water. Next, we see a clip on a brand new map that we haven't seen any clips from, and this appears to take place in a soccer or football stadium. And we can of course see the RCXD, which isn't new. We did see that in the official reveal. Next, we have a clip on the map called Babylon, and with this one, we see a little bit of Omni movement here, and then what appears to be an impact grenade. And we did see a brief clip of this in the multiplayer reveal a while back, but we do get a slightly better look at what appears to be an impact grenade at least. Then after that one, we see yet again a brand new map here that hasn't been revealed at all, wasn't in the leak build or the reveal, and this appears to have a hangar on it with some stealth aircraft, and we once again see another clip of the Wheelson or Cerberus. And then immediately after that, we cut to a snowy map, which I believe we have seen a couple little clips on from the reveal, but not much. And I believe this is actually the Vorkuta Mine multiplayer map, followed by a really quick flyby of the map Protocol, which was in the leaked build of the game. So if you guys have been searching around, you may have actually seen gameplay on this map. And then after that, we see an overhead view of that canals map from the perspective of a Hellstorm missile. You can't really see a full overhead view to get a good indication of the layout of the map, but we can clearly see some of the elements that were in that canals map. Next, they had a bit of a showcase on Gunsmith here, and they just flash through a bunch of images really quickly. I'm going to slow them down a little bit, but I'm not going to talk about every single one in great detail, simply because it's showing different ways that you can build guns with various attachments, but none of the guns shown here are guns that haven't already been shown and confirmed in the game. However, in the background and foreground, you can also see various pieces of equipment and field upgrades, like the neurogas in the background, you can see that. And in the foreground, you're often seeing like stun grenades, flash grenades. We also see Molotov cocktails, so those are confirmed, as well as various explosive devices. And we see this device here, which is a little bit strange, but if we look back to the campaign mission that they showed off, this one is called the Disruptor, which is a throwable proximity device that stuns enemies, and you can hold it to charge the proximity radius, at least in the campaign. Now after that stealth aircraft we saw on that map with the hangar earlier, it looks like it's going to be a score streak as well, and I believe this is at least loosely based off of the F-117 Nighthawk, although I'm not an aircraft expert by any means, so perhaps I'm just missing something and this is a totally different aircraft that I wasn't able to find information on. But it looks like it is doing a flyover here. Perhaps this is going to be a stealth bomber streak. And I also want to point out in this little clip here in the background, you can see several planes flying around like crazy. I believe that's actually the Interceptor's streak, which is essentially the air patrol from Black Ops Cold War, where it just shuts down the skies, so it destroys all aerial streaks while they're called in. Then we get a fly-through of another brand new map that hasn't been properly shown off in the reveal, and there was no leaked gameplay of this one. And we actually get a really good fly-through showing a lot of the map. And throughout this, there are several points that I wanted to pick out, so let's back it up a little bit. And the first thing I noticed is there is a device planted on the wall right here that doesn't appear to be part of the map. That does appear to be an actual usable piece of equipment. Perhaps that's what their C4 looks like in this game, although it doesn't look like C4 that we would typically see in COD. Then as we come out of the vault area here, we can see a helicopter being shot down, and this appears to be the Watchdog Helo score streak. Followed by, of course, another shot of the RCXD, and on top of that, on the balcony, you can see somebody using what appears to be that Valkyrie score streak as well. So lots of streaks in this clip. Also, on the right-hand side of the screen, up in that window, you can see Sniper Glint, and I'm not too sure if that's been officially confirmed yet at this point, but there you go, Sniper Glint will be in this game. Then right here, it appears we have a care package marker. That's also a streak that was fully expected to be in the game, but I don't think we've actually seen any clips of it until here. And I believe the big plane on the top right there was actually dropping off the care package. And there we go. That is pretty much it for the multiplayer trailer and all of the little details I was able to pick out. One big thing to keep in mind here, you might have noticed I wasn't really pointing out guns as I was going through this. I went frame by frame and tried to look at every single gun that was shown in this trailer, and none of them appeared to be a gun that we haven't seen so far. If you guys want to see all of the confirmed guns at this point, I will leave a link to that video down below where I've gone through all of the official footage that has been revealed for this game and found every gun that was shown off. Aside from one gun, I didn't make a video on this since it was just one thing to pull out of that campaign footage that they shared last week, but we do see a PU-21 LMG here as well, and that's the first time we've seen it in gameplay. And with that, this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about Black Ops 6 multiplayer now after seeing this trailer? Are you guys planning on watching COD Next? Which, by the way, I'm not attending COD Next this year. I know I've said this a couple times, but there's still some people asking. I decided to sit this one out this year so I can help my wife take care of our baby. But in saying that, I will be doing sort of a watch party of COD Next on my live stream, just from home, of course. So if you guys are interested in hanging out with me while I watch COD Next, I will leave a link to my Twitch down below. And then, of course, we'll be hopping into the beta later this week. If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.